For many of you, I recognize that these techniques will be more adapted to your Western table session, which will include some draping. So for those of you, I want to make sure that I can give you some draping options that will honor people's modesty. Now, if I know that I'm potentially going to be doing some cobra type moves or lifting moves where the breast tissue may be exposed if you were working on a woman, I do what's called triple draping. So if you take a peek, I'll start with a fitted sheet, and then I'll put another flat sheet on top. Usually I try to choose a different color so that I can discern the differences between the top sheet, the middle sheet, and the bottom sheet. And then I'll have an additional flat sheet on top. So it's really important to begin like that before you even start, because if you're partway in the session, it may keep you from doing some of the moves that you wish to do. And mainly I'm going to review the draping for some of the more dynamic moves. So for some of the more dynamic moves, I'll bring up to the knees. So with some of the single leg lunges, I just kind of come up, tuck in, and often I'll invite the client, here, feel free to hold that so we can maintain your privacy, okay? Another nice thing to consider about draping is that there is the physical aspect of visual draping, but then there's also the kinesthetic aspect of draping, because touching the bare skin has a different feel than, for example, touching the clothed area. So if you're working with someone that feels like you'd like to really be sure of their modesty, or if you've already used some lotion or oil and want to make sure that you as a therapist don't glide, bring the drape up. So you can do the lunging from this position. And also the shot put from this position. And you see how that fabric on their skin makes her feel more private. You're also welcome to, if you're going to do, let this fall out, the footwork. I find that also having that kinesthetic touch of fabric to be very helpful. You're also much less likely to get a skin burn sensation if you have fabric underneath your foot than compared to skin. Let me also show you the draping options for on the ground. Being really generous as I come out with the drape, supporting the side. And letting that kinesthetic sense of the fabric help people to feel the privacy of their own draping. Generally speaking, since we are accustomed to in Thailand working with the clothes, of course, you're welcome to do the Thai abdomen work with the sheet, and I do in my own practice, so that's what I encourage. And generally speaking, even with the spinal twists, interlock your fingers. Usually the sheet by itself will provide enough coverage, but if you wish to be extra mindful, you're welcome to tuck it in before you begin. And even tucking it in like this if you wish. And then breath in and exhale. Very modestly covered. Okay. Let me show you some face down. These are the ones that tend to be a little bit more challenging at first until you've mastered it. Thank you. Okay, mindfully rolling over. Now, one of the things that I like to do before I even get up on the table is I get my draping ready for when I'm going to be doing the lifting techniques. So what I will do is I'll take the middle drape, which is a flat sheet, and I'll bring it up. And up, so that eventually I'm going to create a bandana drape. But before I even get up on the table, what I like to do is make sure that middle drape is completely out of the way so I don't have to be concerned about stepping on it. Let me, well, of course, maintaining her privacy, show you a little bit what I mean. Tucking it in and out of the way, so I'm not going to have to be concerned about stepping on it. Okay. So that's ready for when I'm coming up. Usually, when it comes to palming, I'll bring the drape about to the middle of the table. Welcome to do the elephant palming from here. And most of the lengthening you can do perfectly fine. Also including some of the lunge and hip work, perfectly fine with this draping. When we come to do the back work that we need to be a little bit more mindful. So I'll come up, make sure both of the drapes are out of the way so I'm not going to be pressing on them. And when I do the direct perpendicular pressure, I like to keep the sheet. Especially if I've been using lotion, it's on my hand, it helps to keep me from sliding. Now if you have already done some hand massage with lotion or oil to your client and you're planning on lifting them, you may wish to consider having a little grip of either a face rest or a pillowcase. And I'll show you how to use that in a few moments. But if I'm getting ready to do a lifting technique, I'll first bring back and I'll take the corners of the middle drape and take a little bit of leeway from the edge. And create a firm bandana drape. To ensure that you're covering the breast tissue. Being mindful that if you're going to press on the back, that you remember that you have that knot there. And I come up. Usually I like to even take some of this drape to help support. In an event I've already used lotion. And I'll additionally support the drape with my hand. With some circles. Supporting with the knee, cupping over, nice breath in, and release. Our modesty is maintained. You could do the exact same thing to the other side. And if you've already given them a hand massage and they have lotion on their hands, this would be a wonderful opportunity to take either 2 face cradle covers or pillowcases and place them on their wrists. That way, when they grip, you're sure not to slip. Take a nice breath in and exhale. Modesty maintained. It's a lovely way to be able to introduce people to this dynamic work and still maintain their modesty. And I invite you to play with the draping on your own and be more conservative if in doubt. Thanks.